On Thursday, October 17th, the goddess of love, Venus, will enter Sagittarius. And until November 11th, we will value relationships that are fun, adventurous, and playful, and choose partners that stimulate our mind more than our eyes. Let's take a closer look and break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. I love creating content for you guys, and I appreciate the feedback you give me in the shape of likes, comments, subscription. You can also press the notification bell or watch another one of my videos. All of that helps my channel grow, promotes my videos in front of the large crowds that gather on YouTube. You can also say thank you by buying me a coffee. I appreciate that as well. Coffee, as a tea, a croissant, anything else that gets you, makes you feel good about sharing with me. Anyways, before we dive in, I'd like to mention that if you're looking for personal guidance, you have questions you'd like me to answer, you can book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. There is a variety of options, a couple of different durations, something that can work for everyone. Additionally, on my website, you can pick up one of my creations. I am actively promoting my 2025 planner. Not only it looks beautiful, but it is highly functional and supportive for any astrology lover. It is 200 plus pages filled with insights, astrological guides, information about the transits, signs of the moon, phases of the moon, journaling prompts, new moons, full moons, even dates, best dates to get married, start a business, or dates to watch out for and lay low. Highly, highly recommend picking one up. I poured a lot of love into it, and this is a follow-up to my 2024 planner, the second one, so I'm very excited. Additionally, in the candle section of my website, you can find a variety of candles and oils that I create. In this one, I'd like to highlight my Venus in Libra 2 candle. This one was created on November 14th, 2023 at 8:25 in the morning, and it captures the goddess of love, Venus, at the top of the chart in the very powerful position. She can help you express yourself, show up in a charming way, relax, create, and connect. Venus in Libra is all about social harmony and balance. And so this candle can be beautiful for charming speech, ease in relationships, compromise, communication, because Venus was actually aspecting the moon in Sagittarius and Mercury in Sagittarius. So it's really good for communication, not just love. Highly recommend this for anyone born with Venus retrograde in their chart. If your Venus is in Virgo, Aries, or Scorpio, signs of fall and detriment. If your Venus is in a dark house, 6th, 8th, or 12th, and if it's making difficult aspects like squares, opposition, conjunction to Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, and maybe you're struggling with relationships, this is the beautiful, deliciously smelling choice for you. It smells like honeysuckle jasmine, so very, very nice. So in this video, we're talking about Venus in Sagittarius. Venus is the planet of connection. It's the planet that wants to have a good time. She represents things we value, things we desire. So whenever she's going through different zodiac signs, our attitudes shift, our desires shift, right? We start to behave and desire things in accord to the nature of the sign. And if you peel it back even more to the nature of the ruler of the sign. So in Sagittarius, we're talking about the land of Jupiter. Sagittarius classically ruled by Jupiter, and it's a young Jupiter, so it's very adventurous, outgoing, let's make things happen type Jupiter, versus in Pisces, Jupiter is a bit more like yin, let's wait to see what happens to us and learn from it. So Sagittarius is this adventurous, let's go out there, let's tell them the truth, let's figure things out, let's travel and like have fun, right? And so of course when Venus enters the sign of Sagittarius, she's going to take on some of those qualities. Venus is in Sagittarius from October 17th until November 11th for almost a month. And she suggests that we begin to value fun, We value adventure. We want to go on trips, even if it means going to a new grocery store, honestly, and just like take your partner to a new grocery store and like come up with some kind of challenge for each other, like find the yellow bag of jelly beans or something, or like see who finds more, like, I don't know, more pink titles in the name of products or something. So this desire for adventure, desire for learning, right? We want to learn as well. Sagittarius is the sign of higher purpose and wisdom and meaning. So romantically and just even personally, you will appreciate knowledge a lot more. You might pick up a book about philosophy, religion, spirituality. You might want to take a class with your significant other or go to a museum, somewhere where you get exposed to new information, new sort of knowledge. You'll be hungry for it. It's a very optimistic Venus. It is open-minded. It's even when it gets down and the relationship doesn't work out, it knows that things will get better. It's sort of really hopeful, right? Because Jupiter is optimistic. And if it's your natal Venus, happy Venus return. Please share what it's like to live with this kind of Venus, and if you feel like this describes you and does you justice. So very optimistic, very hopeful, very idealistic, right? Like we might notice that we are a little bit like idealistic, direct, blunt in our relationships. We crave sort of newness and might enjoy new relationships, meeting new people. We are very attracted to the mind, attracted to the intellect and difference. Very much like if somebody speaks a foreign language, if somebody comes from a different country, if somebody's well-traveled, or they're a teacher, philosopher, all of that is likely to be very attractive to us. And of course, the danger with Venus and Sagittarius is of Jupiterian nature, right? Sagittarian nature. So there might be a bit of a tendency to overdo it. Jupiter is grand and all forgiving and just likes to have a jolly good time. So watch out for over drinking, overspending, maybe having a little bit of like loose morals type energy. Of course, Sagittarius has quite strong morals, but sometimes in the search for fun and pleasure, you might forget about something else that's important. The ruler of Venus in Sagittarius this year is Jupiter in Gemini. So she will be the knowledge, the adventure we seek is in direction, in servitude, or sort of in alignment with that Jupiter in Gemini. So wherever it is in your chart, that's what Venus is kind of trying to build towards. And we got to remember that Jupiter in Gemini is Jupiter that is very curious, that is always questioning, that is not taking things at the face value. It sort of wants to understand and like figure out multitude of possibilities. Ever since I found it out like about 6 months ago, but I always think of like Jupiter in Gemini as that Montessori concept, Maria Montessori, the creator of Montessori schools, where you have a different, unique approach to each child, right? Like you don't see things as like every child needs to learn a certain way. Instead, you approach things differently. So perhaps with Venus and Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter and Gemini, we will get to question some of the things we used to believe and find new options, new solutions, even new ways of dealing with relationships. New ways of doing old things too, right? A couple of important dates. October 28th, Venus will square Saturn, can bring a bit of frustration, delays. Maybe some of your desire for fun gets interrupted by your responsibilities, restricted by the responsibilities. On November 3rd, Venus opposes Jupiter. This is very literal. Fun has gone a bit too far energy. Maybe a bit of indecision, a bit of like, if things don't come my way easy, why even bother? So like losing opportunities or trying to do too much at once. So beware of the tendency to spin your wheels in too many directions. And on November 9th, Venus squares Neptune, which is a bit of confusing, challenging energy. Venus is not making a ton of happy aspects while she is in Sagittarius. So she's still Jupiter ruled, she's still optimistic, but we may definitely notice that there is a bit of a like, I mean, the opposition to Jupiter on November 3rd is likely to feel fun, but like I said, maybe a bit too much fun. But the square to Saturn, square to Neptune may feel like maybe we don't quite know what we're trying to achieve. Like, once again, you know, Sagittarius wants purpose, wants like unity, and the squares to Saturn and Neptune might suggest that there is a lack of coherence on some level because we don't quite have all the information yet, or we are at this turning point where we're trying to figure out Jupiter and Gemini things, all the possibilities, all the options, all the directions we want to go in. And that feels a bit disheartening, or like I said, not fully sort of stable. If you're looking for a personal reading, you want to understand your natal chart, you want me to talk about your year coming up or your relationship, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. And let's dive into the rising signs, starting with Aries rising. Venus is entering your 9th house. And she's ruled by Jupiter in the 3rd, right? So Venus in the 9th might suggest that you're getting excited about learning something because the ruler is Jupiter in the 3rd, and on some level you're in this sort of year-long period of learning new skills, changing your job, changing your schedule, starting a business, starting a podcast. So Venus in the 9th could suggest that there is this desire to learn, take a class, pick up a new skill, learn a new language. Romantically, you might enjoy going to classes and learning new things together with your partner, or traveling with your partner. This is a really beautiful time to get away, maybe go on a short trip. It could also be a very healing period where maybe you are looking at your beliefs around love and your beliefs around relationships and needing to let something go, as Venus squares Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house. And finally, for the single ladies and gentlemen out there, Venus in the 9th is a beautiful time to date a foreigner or date a teacher. And you might meet them locally. Once again, Jupiter, the ruler, is in the 3rd house. You might meet them through a sibling, through a neighbor, or maybe you are traveling or you are taking a class and you meet someone there, like love blossoms in the place of knowledge and education. As always, if you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. For the lovely Taurus risings, Venus is entering your 8th house and she's ruled by Jupiter in the 2nd. And here you're looking at the house of relating, the house of exchanges of energy, resources, contacts, connections, right? And so Venus in the 8th seeks to collaborate. She's maybe, you know, you are in this mood to work with other people, to partner up with other people, to exchange resources. I give you this, you give me that. Very, very sort of like, let's make things work type energy. She does suggest that you may benefit at this time from the email somebody sends on your behalf, or a partner maybe getting a raise. Sometimes Venus in the 8th is seen through other people benefiting and you are sort of close to them, so they take you on the ride with them, like a partner wins some kind of competition and then they go on vacation and you come with them, or they get a raise, or they get an inheritance, they get some kind of bonus. If you're single, this could also be a friend helping you, boss, a family member, some kind of resource might be coming through the other person, through people in your life. You might enjoy, like I said, partnering up. You might enjoy taking your creative genius and putting it together with someone else and sort of creating like a synthesis of two ideas. And the fact that the ruler is Jupiter in the 2nd suggests that you are in the like a year-long period of trying to maybe explore new financial ideas, new projects. And so once again, Venus in the 8th is asking the question of, what resources do I need? What knowledge do I need? How should I spend my money? How should I connect and work with others in order to follow those projects and those goals? And watch out for a little bit of disagreements and tensions with friends, maybe tensions between the resources you have and what you're trying to achieve, as Venus squares Saturn and Neptune. If you're looking for a personal consultation, you have questions you'd like me to answer, you want me to look at your chart, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. For the beautiful Gemini rising, Venus is entering your 7th house and you are in the mood to date. You want to go out there, you want to schedule a good time, no matter single or in a relationship, it is a good time for partnerships and romance. And partnerships could be of all kinds. If you are not interested in dating, maybe it's about a business relationship you're starting or a contract. For some reason I'm like sliding from my seat right now. I don't know what it is. But yeah, maybe you're signing a contract, maybe you're negotiating some kind of agreement. It could be professional, it could be personal, it could be related to your home situation potentially. You know, there is a few varieties of what this could be. But Venus in the 7th is really good for getting along with others. So if you're looking to, you know, ask for more money, sign a new contract, go on a date and start a new relationship, this could be a great time for it. The ruler is Jupiter in the 1st. So Jupiter has been in your 1st house since late May. And that suggests that you are reinventing yourself. So with Jupiter in the 1st, there is kind of this opportunity to figure out who you are, start new projects, present yourself as a teacher, a guide, a mentor, a guru. And so potentially with Venus in the 7th, you're wondering what kind of partnerships you need to start, what kind of contracts you need to sign in order to help that vision you have of yourself come true. Watch out for some conflicts between your relationships and your personal goals and your duties you have to your job. Maybe you have a partnership that you're working on or a project you're working on, but you also have a job that is like putting a lot of stress and pressure on you. So some tensions between you and even like elders, people in power are likely as Venus squares Saturn and Neptune. If you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com, and please share how this resonates. Do you feel like some of these themes are likely to come up for you soon? If you are the lovely Cancer rising, Venus is entering your 6th house, and Venus in the 6th is a great time to work on your health. She would offer you opportunities to improve your everyday life, and not just improve your health, diet, and exercise, but find ways to flow through your life and do these mundane things, sort of do this body maintenance in an enjoyable way, right? So like Venus in the 6th might suggest that you're taking Zumba classes, or you're going to a workout class with friends, or you are putting on your favorite song and doing a dance party while you're also cleaning, right? So it's very much like, how can you do things in life that are not that fun, but how can you do them with fun? There might also be a lot more joy in your professional relationships, to a point that maybe you're feeling attracted to a colleague and going out with a colleague, or just going out more with people you work and connecting better with them. The ruler of this Venus is Jupiter in the 12th, so you might also be directed by the desire to change what you do for a living, to maybe become a healer, to move, relocate, and transform your life to bring more peace and joy into it. And I think that very much goes along with the idea of like doing mundane things with a little bit more fun. Be careful of some kind of ideological issues, especially around late October, October 28th, November 9th, 3 days before, 3 days after, as Venus in your 6th squares Saturn and Neptune in the 9th. There might be some kind of like ideological debates, legal matters, problems involving visas, documents, foreign colleagues. So if issues do come up, try to navigate them with patience. Remember to breathe and take it easy. Share how this resonates. And if you're looking for a personal reading, you have questions only a one-on-one consultation with me can answer. Book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. I am currently away a month of October, but I am, open for taking readings in November. If you are the lovely Leo rising, Venus is entering your 5th house How fun, right? The ruler is Jupiter in the 11th. So on like a large scale, you are driven to connect with other people. You're driven to discover your place in the world. You're driven to maybe become known on social media or become known in sort of a larger social scene. And so Venus in the 5th could be very inspired. Let's say you're a content creator. Venus in the 5th might be the time when you're just spitting content out, you're full of ideas, you're like more capable of creating beautiful, aesthetically pleasing content, you're more charming. Venus is in her joy in the 5th house. So this is lovely for all kinds of creative self-expression. It's lovely for sex and pleasure. So you're more likely to go out right now and like go out dancing, go out doing pottery, whatever it is that you really enjoy doing. And romantically, this is really, really nice for new relationships, for dating, for going out. 5th house is also the place of children. So either you're making children or you're spending time with children or you're connecting with your inner child. I would urge you to manage your finances because Venus will square Saturn and Neptune on October 28th and then November 9th. And so there might be some kind of tension between like all the things you're trying to achieve and the resources you have, or maybe even like your desire for fun and your spending habits versus what your partner thinks is wise, and a little bit of tension there that you need to figure out. If you're looking for a personal reading, please book one on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to look at your natal chart, discuss your relationship, and more. For the lovely Virgo rising, Venus is entering your 4th house. And the ruler is Jupiter in the 10th. So we have this very strong home, family, and career dynamic. And Venus in the 4th really wants to have a good time at home. She feels nostalgic. She feels sentimental. She wants to connect with family, right? Like a lot might still be going on, but it might be going on behind the scenes. You're having family get-togethers, you're going to see family, you're hosting parties at home, even having romantic dates at home and like having sort of passionate nights, but it's all in the privacy of your own residence. You might also be enjoying making home improvements, starting little DIY projects. And because the ruler is Jupiter in the 10th house, I wonder if you're also looking at your home through the lens of like, how can it be better suited for your job? Let's say you work from home, and so with Venus here, you're decorating your office or even starting an office, sort of reorganizing things to fit your professional goals better. Maybe even figuring out better like family relationships and family dynamics that can help you go out there and conquer the world. A little bit of tension between family and your partner, your partner's family and you, or even some wounds from the past affecting your relationship around October 28th, November 9th, when Venus squares Saturn and squares Neptune. So be on the lookout, try to be patient, and try to heal as always. If you're looking for a personal reading, you can book one on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to look at your natal chart, your relationship compatibility, or your year to come. My November readings are currently open. For the lovely, lovely, lovely Libra rising, I love you guys so much. I said lovely multiple times. Venus is entering your 3rd house. This is beautiful for your speech. Of course, it's Venus in Sagittarius. You might speak with like zeal and fire and passion, but you're more likely to find yourself in a position of like mediator, diplomat. You already are as a Libra rising, but even more so right now. Venus in the 3rd house is great for going out in the neighborhood, hanging out with siblings or neighbors, dating neighbors. If you're single, you might find yourself attracted to someone local, close to you. Maybe someone at your coffee shop or at a local grocery store catches your eye, gets you excited. It's also suggestive of like a more fertile time in terms of ideas. You are coming up with new projects, you're taking on sort of new interests or exploring existing interests, right? If you like knitting, this is a great time to watch a video on knitting. If you are a content creator, you might feel more inspired. If you're a business owner, this could be the time when you're better at selling yourself because your words are that much stronger and potent. The ruler is Jupiter in the ninth, so it feels like, once again, sort of speaking, doing things, creating things in order to reach that bigger goal of Jupiter in the ninth, which deals with teaching others, sharing your wisdom, travel, being like, let's say you're trying to be a travel influencer, and Venus in the third is like, okay, let's create a bunch of content that can help us create a portfolio and like recommend ourselves there. Watch out for spreading yourself too thin and sort of overloading yourself, especially in late October and around November 9th, 3 days before, 3 days after, as Venus squares Saturn and Neptune in your sixth house. There might just be like too many things going on. Please share how it resonates. If you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. For the lovely Scorpio rising, Venus is entering your second house, and the ruler is Jupiter in the 8th. So Jupiter in the 8th since May 25th until June 9th, 2025, is encouraging you to work with others. It's encouraging you to pay off debts, to start new partnerships, or to release dependencies and connections that are draining and unhealthy. And so Venus in the second might be the time when you actually take care of some of those financial matters, when you consult financial advisors, start bank accounts, set some money aside, make investments. Venus in the second would be a great time to like invest in a piece of art, buy something that might increase in value over time. You may notice more money coming your way. You may also notice that you're spending a little bit more on like beauty products and maybe things you desire, and you're more driven by those desires versus the rational mind. Especially, let's say, on October 28th and November 9th as Venus squares Saturn and Neptune. That might actually be the time when you're either, you overspend, or you feel like you can't spend on things that you would rather spend because your partner doesn't agree, your child needs new shoes. This is very sad. It's like, I want to buy a chocolate, but my child needs new shoes. It's very extreme, right? But maybe like you actually want to buy like a boat and your child needs to go, and you're sending your child to private school or something. And I went from like an example for really poor to like really rich people. Let's dial it down to like a little bit more realistic, right? But whatever it is, there is a bit of a tension on October 28th, November 9th, 3 days before, 3 days after, between like your values and partner's values, your finances and partner's finances, your desires and the needs of children, some kind of responsibilities you have to children. And you can replace children with like your creative project, your passion project. But otherwise, great time, I think, once again, to make investments, to work with other people, to ask for a raise, and to rethink your financial strategy. If you're looking for more, please book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com, and let me know how this resonates. If you are a Sagittarius rising, this is awesome. Venus is entering your first house, making you more charming, more beautiful, more attractive. The ruler of this Venus is Jupiter, currently in your seventh house. And there's been a lot of focus on relationships, on solidifying a partnership, commitment, moving in with your partner, finding a partner. And so Venus being in your first house for almost a month is the time when you're extra charming, extra appealing, and other people might struggle saying no to you. So it's a lovely time to change your style, to change your look, to get any beauty procedures, color your hair, paint your nails, whatever you want to do. And as well as for creative projects, it's a lovely time, and you may feel more inspired, more artistic, and maybe you're naturally sort of, like are not that creative, but now you pick up a paintbrush and you throw something together and people ah and ooh and oh and just love it. Watch out for some drama around family, home, and living situation. disrupting your peace on October 28th, November 9th, 3 days before, 3 days after, as Venus squares Saturn and Neptune in your 4th. Please share how it resonates, and if you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, Anastasia.astrology.com. If you are a Capricorn rising, Venus is entering your 12th house. 12th house is a hidden place for Venus. If you're born with this placement, highly recommend my Venus in Libra 2 candle for you. Because Venus is sort of tucked away in the 12th house, which might suggest that you are going away. Venus in the 12th is a good time to get away with your partner, go on a spiritual retreat alone or with a partner, take a break, sort of, connect with yourself, connect with your spirituality. Venus and Sagittarius would really like that. Learn new things, a new language, dive into tarot. This might also suggest that you are becoming more aware of yourself and your self-defeating patterns. It's a really good time to listen to the signs that come up and perhaps learn to transform some of your toxic behaviors if you're noticing something. Watch out for going for people who are toxic, unavailable, and bad for you otherwise, because 12th house is the place of self-undoing. And pretty much every single time in 12th house, we become the cause of our own self-undoing. So be mindful. October 28th, November 9th might be particularly frustrating. There might be some conversations you're having, maybe some scheduling issues, logistical issues that affect your peace, joy, your desire to escape. And they can be frustrating, but they can also be very telling and helpful for realizing something about yourself and making things better. Share how this resonates. If you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, Anastasia.astrology.com. My bookings are open for November right now. For the beautiful Aquarius rising, Venus is entering 11th house and she's ruled by Jupiter in the 5th. So this is interesting, right? Jupiter in the 5th for a year really wants to have a good time. It wants to date. It wants to dive into pleasurable interests, spend time with children, sort of grow by connecting to the inner child and expressing the more joyful side of yourself. And so Venus in the 11th for about a month might be the period when you are connecting with that joyful side of yourself through your friendships. You may notice that you're either starting new friendships that feel more aligned with your heart, or you're spending more time with your friends and people you love. You're going out more, there might be more parties, more networking events, and love to be found in those places, at those events, if you're single especially. A friendship transitioning into a relationship, a friendship turning into a partnership, like a creative partnership is likely. This can also be a beautiful time to go on social media and express yourself, start a podcast, start some kind of creative project. And any new relationship that actually starts at this time might have like a strong sense of like camaraderie and friendship and sort of deeper social connection. Be careful and watch out that your sort of search for pleasure and fun doesn't lead you to overspend and find yourself in a more frustrating financial position, because on October 28th and November 9th, Venus will square Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd house. So beware of that. Let me know how this resonates, and if you're looking for more, find me at Anastasia.astrology.com. You can book a natal chart, relationship, or predictive year ahead or solar return reading on there. Now to the lovely Pisces rising. Venus is entering your 10th house, which is beautiful for your career. Venus in the 10th is a sign that you are enjoying your job, or you're choosing projects that are pleasant, pleasurable, exciting, right? Your relationships with bosses are likely to be more harmonious and agreeable. It could also be a great time to ask for a raise, to ask for a bonus or a different job title. Possibly a really good time to ask to work from home or to work more from home, because Jupiter, the ruler of this Venus, is in your 4th house for a year. So Jupiter's desires are on some level a little bit contradictory to Venusian location. Jupiter in the 4th wants you to grow your family and to spend time at home and to expand your home, but then Venus in the 10th is about work, work, work. So here, I guess I wonder if the way to unite these two is like, how can you work smarter, not harder? And how can you work and maybe use this beautiful professional energy to make sure that you're not forgetting about your need for familial connections and rest and peace. Certain resistance, like personal resistance, might come up, and maybe like you may become aware of your own sort of unhealthy patterns. Also, you know, like tension between like what your health needs and what your personal projects are, and family and your job might show up as Venus square Saturn and Neptune. First Saturn on October 28th and then Neptune November 9th. Those might feel a little bit more frustrating, maybe like, especially on November 9th, maybe your energy is a little bit low, you're feeling kind of melancholic, sad, tired, and so I'd say take it easy and don't push yourself and try to like flow with this energy. Share how this resonates. If you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, talk about your natal chart, your year coming up, or your relationship compatibility. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. My bookings are open for November as I am away in October. I'm sort of hesitant to tell you what I'm doing, but I may have already said it. It will be, you know, it all in due time. If I haven't said it yet, I will mention it very soon. Since I'm filming this content ahead of time, I don't want to say it until it actually happens. Anyways, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And once again, thank you so much for supporting me and watching my videos. I'll talk to you soon.